Grey hair is one of aging's most visible signs, catching us off guard in the mirror. The assumption seems simple. We're aging, our colour-producing cells are dying. But what if that's wrong? In 2023, a team of researchers at the New York University Grossman School of Medicine, led by Dr. Mayumi Ito, made a discovery that completely rewrote the story. Using advanced live imaging technology, they watched something no one had ever seen before inside living hair follicles. The pigment-producing stem cells, the melanocyte stem cells, were not dying. They were stuck. In a healthy, young hair follicle, they are constantly on the move, shuttling back and forth between different zones like commuters on a subway. Their destination matters because they need to reach a specific area, the hair germ, where they pick up a chemical signal called WNT. That signal is their orders to mature and start producing pigment. It's the difference between a cell that knows its job and one that's lost in transit. But as we age, or as our hair goes through repeated growth cycles, something goes wrong. These once mobile cells lose their ability to move. They become physically trapped in a region called the hair follicle bulge, jammed in place. And because they can't get to where the WNT proteins are waiting, they never get the instruction to produce colour. So the hair grows out grey, not because the factory shut down, but because the workers are stuck in traffic. This discovery changed everything, because if grey hair is a mobility problem, not a mortality problem, then maybe it's reversible. That's exactly what a new wave of topical treatments is trying to prove. Take the experimental formula known as RT1640. It's a 3-ingredient cocktail that includes minoxidil, which many people already know for hair growth, plus an immunosuppressant called cyclosporine A, and a specialized compound called RT175. The idea is elegant. While minoxidil and cyclosporine kickstart the hair growth cycle and get things moving again, the RT175 goes straight for the pigment stem cells. It boosts the activity of the genes that control color production. In lab tests, this combination has actually increased the number of active pigment cells and, in some cases, reversed graying. The cells weren't dead, they were just waiting for the right wake-up call. Then there's another approach that is used in high-end anti-gray serums. The active ingredient is a synthetic peptide called palmitoyl tetrapeptide 20. Think of it as a molecular impersonator. It mimics your body's natural hormones, tricking the follicle cells into believing they've received the signal to produce more melanin. But it doesn't stop there. It also helps shuttle that pigment from the production cells into the hair shaft itself, and it boosts an enzyme called catalase. That enzyme is crucial because grey hair tends to accumulate hydrogen peroxide, the same chemical we use to bleach hair blonde. And that buildup actively blocks colour production. So this peptide is essentially doing 3 jobs at once: faking the hormone signal, moving the pigment, and cleaning up the chemical clutter. It sounds like magic, but before you throw out your hair dye, there are some hard truths to consider. First, absorption is a nightmare. Many of these active ingredients are large molecules. Getting them through the scalp, deep down into the hair follicle where the stem cells are actually trapped, is like trying to thread a needle through a brick wall. The science is sound, but the delivery is the problem. Second, the evidence is still thin. While plenty of consumers report seeing darker hair after a few months, we are still waiting for large-scale, rigorous clinical trials on human subjects. Most of what we know comes from laboratory experiments and smaller surveys. Promising? Yes. Proven beyond doubt? Not yet. And here is the most important caveat of all. These treatments only work if you still have living pigment stem cells to rescue. If a follicle has completely emptied out, if the reservoir is dry, no topical cream in the world can paint color back onto a blank canvas. The cells have to be there, just stuck, not gone. And they can be completely gone, for example, in these 2 cases. First, a landmark Harvard study showed that experiencing severe stress floods our hair follicles with noradrenaline, forcing dormant pigment stem cells to mature all at once and permanently depleting the backup supply. Second, newer research suggests environmental damage, like UV radiation or chemical exposure, can cause critical DNA breaks inside these cells, triggering a built-in safety protocol that forces them to die off early to prevent cancer. One last thing worth mentioning is nutrition. Because hair color is a chemical process, and like any factory, it needs raw materials. Low levels of vitamin B12, iron, vitamin D3, and calcium have all been linked to premature graying. The good news? Unlike stuck stem cells or depleted reservoirs, a deficiency is fixable. Correct the imbalance, and in some cases, some color can return. The landscape of hair health is shifting from cosmetic cover-ups to cellular biology. Grey hair is no longer viewed as an inevitable ticking clock, but rather as a puzzle of misplaced cells, exhausted reservoirs, or nutrient gaps. While a reliable cure isn't sitting on store shelves yet, decoding these hidden mechanisms changes everything. Science has finally mapped the cellular terrain. The next step is simply learning how to navigate it.